Hi, I'm Clarksmith. I'm the winemaker for WineSmith, and with great delight today I'm going to tell you about my 2021 WineSmith Heringer family estate Tannat from the Clarksburg vineyard that they have down there. Now the reason Tannat is so special for me, Tannat is the traditional grape of Madiran, which is inside of the Pyrenees in the south of France, about 2 hours south of Bordeaux. And I was invited over there to sit at the knee of the master, my guru, Patrick Ducournau, who was the inventor of micro-oxygenation. The reason he did this was that Tannat was not being made properly. It was being made according to modern wine principles, and they don't really work. And so the local vignerons were busily tearing out all the Tannat and planting Merlot, and he thought this was just terrible. So he had a dream where he got the idea that the wine was starved for oxygen. Now, everybody was following what they thought was the wisdom of Émile Peynaud from the University of Bordeaux, who's quoted as saying that oxygen is the enemy of wine. And so most modern winemakers do everything they can to keep oxygen away from wine. Well, that isn't really what he said. What he really said was, a lot of people think that oxygen is the enemy of wine, but actually it's the key to great red winemaking. People have left out that context, and now most winemakers will just do everything they can to protect a wine from seeing any air, and that's just murder on a highly tannic grape like Tannat. Tannat has maybe 3 times the tannin of Cabernet Sauvignon. It's extremely hungry for oxygen, and when he figured out how to kind of dose it with minute amounts of oxygen, this was a little bit like a slow cooker where you soften the meat over time at a very low rate of heat. So anyway, he went to see Michel Moutonnet in Montpellier, University of Montpellier, and the two of them worked out this idea that they could take a diffuser and put a little micro bubble of oxygen in the Tannat, and lo and behold, it softened it and made it more refined, but also gave it greater longevity and what we call aromatic integration. So it used to be that it would show off a lot of Brettanomyces. When you make a good integrative structure, then you don't see that anymore. So anyway, I was invited in 1997 to start learning about this, and they said, you know, we can teach you to stabilize color and refine your texture, increase longevity, handle reduction. All your daughters will marry doctors, and all you have to do is exactly the opposite of what they told you in school. And it turned out to be true. So anyway, then I was so delighted to find that the Heringers were growing Tannat down there in Clarksburg. And so that's what this wine is. Some of you may recall 2019. This is a very similar wine to that. But Clarksburg Tannat, for some reason, that strange terroir there down on Netherlands Road, because it's below sea level there, there's something about that terroir that doesn't make normal Tannat. I've made Tannat all over, you know, California, Uruguay, France, Texas, and it's always remorselessly tannic. But this guy isn't like that at all. So you can see a beautiful ruby color there. It's not terribly dark, but quite brilliant. And then, lo and behold, unlike any other Tannat I've ever had, it's just loaded with this sort of boysenberry, blueberry, blackberry, dark fruit. And then in the mouth, it's so silky and feminine, but still with plenty of tannic authority. Ought to go for at least another decade in a good cellar, but you can drink it right now. And if you did, it'd certainly work with a pork loin with cherries, let's say, or stinky old cheese like an époisse, let's say. But in Madiran, what they really like it with is magret, which is grilled duck breast. And I live in Petaluma here, and we have Liberty Duck, which a lot of people think is the best duck breast in the United States. And you can get it online. And then you want to go to my YouTube channel, Gracious Living in the Time of Corona, and you can see my really simple, easy duck recipe there. And you know, a bottle of this and a Liberty duck breast prepared at home is going to cost you about as much as going out to a pretty good burger joint and getting a cheeseburger and a beer.